In this video, I'm going to be covering off the top things you're going to want to know if you're moving to Ajax, Ontario, and I promise you, you're not going to want to miss the last one, so stay tuned. Hey, my name is Brad with Right at Home Realty, and I'm a local realtor here in the Durham region. In this channel, I cover off what it's like to eat, sleep, play, live, all here in the Durham region. So far, I've covered off cities like Oshawa and Whitby. Now I'm moving on to Ajax. I do weekly videos, so if you do subscribe and you click that little bell, you'll be notified every time I do release a new video. I get people reaching out from all over the world, and I absolutely love it. So if you are looking at relocating here, you can call, text, email, whatever is easiest for you, and I'm here to make the transition so much easier. In this video, it's going to be covering off the top things you're going to want to know if you're moving to Ajax. So let's get into it. Our first point is why Ajax. So Ajax is a place that has many young families that are living here. It has an average household income of about $126,000, which is slightly higher than the Canadian average household income. And then it's an area that is made up with many young people that are living here. 21% of the population is between 30 and 40 years old. And then you have 15% of the population is between 20 and 29 years old. And then 14% of the population is between 45 and 54 years old. So half of the population here is aged between 20 and 54, which is, it's a fantastic kind of demographic of people who are made up here, showing that it's a lot of young families that are living here. The average house price in Ajax sits at about $728,000. And in terms of raising a family, they have a ton of schools here. So they have 26 public schools and 13 Catholic schools. There's 3 French immersion schools, and then there's 1 private school. The 2 school districts that kind of cover off the Ajax area, so if you are looking at getting research on that, is the Durham District School Board, and then there's the Durham Catholic School Board. So those are the 2 main players in the schools that are here. It's a place that is made up with many new developments. So over the years, a lot of new homes have been going up. So there's a lot of newer homes that are as options for people who are looking to move here. And there are a ton of more cultural flavors than other parts of the Durham region. So you have a rich diversity of food and culture. And it also has a good mix of restaurants and just shopping overall. So let's move on to our second point. So point number 2 is the Ajax waterfront. And I know in every city I've covered in Durham so far, I mentioned the waterfront, and the truth be told is the waterfront is a good option for a city because not all cities in and around the Greater Toronto area actually have a waterfront that can be used. So Ajax waterfront it's an unspoiled, usable type waterfront that has 6 kilometers of parkland along the southern parts of Ajax, and then it has Lake Ontario as kind of the boundary line on the south part. It's used by residents and visitors for things like scenic views, picnics. There's recreational activities that take place down there. And then there's a multi-use trail which people use for walking, cycling, jogging, and rollerblading. So that covers off number 2. Let's go to our third point. So our third point is the Trans-Canada Trail. So this is an asphalt trail that runs all the way from Hamilton to Belleville, and Ajax's portion is 7 kilometers long, and it probably has one of the most picturesque waterfronts in all of southern Ontario. It also has an amazing park system which is highlighted by the waterfront, and it has huge open fields which are meticulously maintained by the city. It's definitely something that you'd want to check out if you're coming here, whether to live or just to visit. That covers off our third point, so let's move on to our fourth. Our fourth point has to do with South Ajax. So this is an area which is pretty much located by Salem and Bailey, and then south from there. It is very close proximity to Lake Ontario, and it's an area that's populated mostly with young families and children. It is one of the best areas if you do have small children because of the school system. So the schools on average ranked at about 6.4 or 6.5 out of 10, and the provincial average is 6, which is all done by the Fraser Institute, and they use the school testings to kind of rank the schools. I will be doing videos on that, so you're going to want to subscribe and like the channel. That way you're notified of that. But yeah, so it has a good bus service as well. So if your children are going to be taking the school bus to school, it's really good and easy to use. And then it has fully equipped parks. So all the parks there, they have the swing sets, the playgrounds. It has a lot to really encourage the outdoor activities. And lastly, it has a very close proximity to the Ajax GO station. So if you are commuting to downtown Toronto, it is about a 48-minute train ride, and it will get you right to Union Station. That covers off our fourth point. So let's move on to our next. So point 5 has to do with Central Ajax. So this is an area where my wife, back when she was my girlfriend and going to UOIT, which now is called Ontario Tech University, she was actually staying here because our friends stayed here. And she was able to stay there for a little while. And she liked the area. It was close to everything. You could walk everywhere. When I came and visited on weekends or, an evening time sometimes, it was very central and easy to get around to everything. It's an area which was predominantly World War II style homes. So it's the smaller 2 and 3 bedroom homes that were developed back when World War II was happening. And it was just affordable housing for a lot of the people who stayed back when the soldiers had gone off. That covers up point number 5. Let's jump on to our next point. So point number 6 is Pickering Beach. And I know that's a weird name for a neighborhood or beach considering it's in Ajax, but that's what it's called. And it was once a very prestigious cottage type destination for a lot of the upper class people who were coming from Toronto, really, and due to the amazing beaches. So it was some cottage destination that a lot of people like to come to. Most of the original cottages have been torn down and then replaced with modern type mansions, or maybe not quite mansions, but larger homes. And it's a great area if you have deep pockets, because real estate in this area does not come cheap. You are looking, for the most part, over $1 million for homes. The newer, larger, modern ones are 1.5, 1.6, some more, some less, depending on the type of house, really, and the view. And it's just a very good area to live in or just to visit. That covers off point 6. Let's jump on to our next one. So our 7th point is actually, it's Casino Ajax. And I know it's hard to believe, but yes, Ajax has a casino. It is a good or a bad thing. Depends on the person, really. And I'll let you decide that. It's a place that's always busy, so it does draw a lot of people to Ajax. They are open 24/7. And I've gone there. I haven't gone back in over 5 years. I went before kids and marriage and everything like that. I would go with my wife, who at the time was my girlfriend, and we would go with the intention of whatever money we were going with it was to have fun. So our donation was typically $50. And the cool thing about it was, while you're using the slot machines or playing the video poker, you can get free soft drinks, coffee, tea. The food is really good food, and they have like weekly specials or daily specials, actually, like Thursday, Friday, for instance, from 4 to 11 p.m. You can get 2 lobster tails and prime rib for $14.99. And Wednesday is $9.99 T-bone steaks. So if you are even go get the free membership and you can get pricing like that for food, it's still a good place to go for that sense. That covers off our point number 7. Let's jump on to our next one. So our 8th point has to do with great fishing. So Ajax has a place, it's called the Greenwood Conservation Area, and what it is 700 acres of protected green space, and it's within the Duffins Creek watershed. It is home to some of the best fishing in the Durham region, so if you are a fisherman or a fisherwoman and you like fishing, then this is a place that you're going to want to check out for sure, whether you are planning to live here or if you're just visiting. I hope that was helpful. Let's jump on to our next point. So our 9th point has to do with shopping until you're dropping. It is, Ajax has great shopping. So they have the Durham Center, which is located at the Harwood and Kingston Road area. And it is, it's an outdoor power center type shopping facility, which is close to 1 million square feet. This is where I got my first Costco membership, and I remember calling my friend who lived in Ajax, and I asked him, like, I'm getting a Costco membership. He's like, okay, why don't you hold on and I'll come, because if you get referred by an existing member, you both get like a gift card of some sort. I forget what it was. It might have been like 25 bucks or something, which comes in handy because when you go to Costco, it's never less than $100. And it doesn't matter what you go in there for, it's $100 or more, unless you're really disciplined. That covers off the shopping until you're dropping. So let's cover on to our next point. Our 10th point has to do with golfing. So if you are an avid golfer, Ajax might be a place that you're going to want to consider, because there is Annandale Golf Course, which is a challenging 18-hole course. There is Carruthers Creek, which is a championship 9 or 18-hole golf course. And then there is Deer Creek, which is an absolute monster. It's a 45-hole facility, and the landscaping on this place is probably better than any other golf course I've ever seen. And one of the better parts about it is there's actually a subdivision that goes through the golf course where there are 2-acre parcels of land with 3,000 square foot bungalows and 2-story homes. And I remember me and my wife driving through this place and thinking, like, wow, this place is amazing. I wonder how much these homes cost. And it was 2 million, 2.5, 3 million. Like, they were way more of a budget than we wanted to spend, but it was still a really nice area to drive through. There is Riverside Golf Club, which is a family-oriented course, and it's located right in the heart of Pickering Village. If golf is not your thing, then you are about 20 minutes away from Lake Ridge and Dagmar, which are both ski hills that you can go to. You can go skiing, snowboarding. They have tubing set up there, so it's really fun to do in the wintertime. That covers off our point 10. Let's jump on to our next point. So our 11th point has to do with inclusivity for all. So Ajax is really aimed at making everybody feel welcome, regardless of your ethnicity. They have events, groups, programs, and it's all used pretty much to cater to everybody. They're really aimed to celebrate and highlight different cultures, and they've done a really good job of that over the years by having different things that happen that really anybody can go to, and you can learn more, and it really highlights the different cultures. So it's really neat like that. That covers off that one. So let's jump on to our 12th and final point. So our 12th point has to do with the school system here in Ajax. So a lot of people, when they're moving to a new area, schools are important to them. So they want to go into an area or a city that has, on average, a good school system. And so there's a website out there, it's called Fraser Institute, and they rank all the schools in Ontario, and they've pretty much given them a number. And the way Ajax on a whole has averaged out is they're at about 6.5 out of 10. So 10 being the highest score, and then 1 being the lowest score. So Ajax as a whole is at 6.5. The Ontario average is 6. So it just shows it's above the Ontario average. The top neighborhood in Ajax for their elementary schools is Northwest Ajax, and they averaged out at 7.7 out of 10. And they have 3 schools in that area. So that area itself, if schools are important to you, then that might be an area that you're going to want to consider. That covers off that. Well, that's all, folks. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click that little like button. It also lets me know people are liking the content that I'm putting out there. If you forgot at the beginning, subscribe to the channel and click that little bell. That way you're notified each and every time I do post a new video. I post video Fridays, so you can aim to expect it on Fridays. And I'm covering all different parts. So if you want to know what it's like to eat, sleep, play, live, everything right here in the Greater Toronto area, subscribe to the channel, because it will just be a matter of time before I've covered off all of the Greater Toronto area. If you have any other questions, you can drop it in the comments below and I will personally respond to it. I have people reaching out from all over the world and I absolutely love it. So if you are looking to relocate here, you can call, text, email, send the carrier pigeons, whatever is easiest for you, and I'm here to make the transition and the relocation go as smooth as possible. Thanks for watching, and until next time.